I'm John Reynolds. Uh, I used to be a freedom fighter. I joined the staff with Martin Luther King and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference back in 1965. And I'm an author of a new book entitled The Fight for Freedom. And part of my fight for freedom was to help people to register and vote. The other experience that I had was working with Dr. King and his vision for organizing poor people. And we went to Washington, D.C. to put the plight of poor people before Congress and before the conscience of the nation. One of the other experiences that I had was in Charleston, South Carolina, when the hospital workers went on strike in 1969. And we was here to try to help those workers organize and become a union. So those are just a few of my experience in the civil rights movement. And I understand the importance of helping poor people. So one of the things that I believe in is supporting organizations like Palmetto Palace. And the goal of Palmetto Palace is to help people in an emergency situation when they come to the hospital and unable to afford a room in a hotel. Palmetto Palace provide assistance, both emotional and provide them with a place to stay and food to eat. So that's the connection that I see between my experience as a freedom fighter and my helping and supporting grassroots organization like Palmetto Palace. And one of my other experiences that I enjoyed the most was during the Poor People campaign. Dr. King organized people from all around the country, red people, yellow people, brown people, and black people, and brought them to Washington, D.C., where we lived on the National Mall throughout the summer of 1968. 5,000 people lived in that city. And I tried to lay out my experiences in the civil rights movement in my book, The Fight for Freedom. I tried to give people a glimpse of what the civil rights movement was all about, how we organized different things, how we would organize marches, how we organized boycotts. And that is what we did here when 7 women in Charleston was fired from the 3 major hospitals here in Charleston. They asked for our help, and we came in and organized the community. We put on boycotts, we marched downtown, we did night marches, and the governor declared a curfew in downtown Charleston at night. And so I highlight those experiences and those efforts in the book, The Fight for Freedom.
Hi, I'm Dr. Gibbs, founder and executive director of the Palmetto Palace. It gives me a great pleasure to be standing here with John Reynolds, who is truly a supporter of the Palmetto Palace. John understands the importance of families in the hospital waiting rooms, looking for assistance or needing assistance with lodging, transportation, and food.
It is my pleasure to be here with Dr. Gibb, and it was an honor when I moved here 2 years ago and found an organization like Palmetto Palace that I could get involved in. And for the last 2 years I've been working in the background and supporting Palmetto Palace however I can. And I encourage people to support this great organization. We're trying to serve people in this community, people who are struggling, strict people who don't have health insurance and can't afford to be here in the hospital, and they find themselves sleeping in difficult situations. And I think that we need to support organizations like Palmetto Palace.
Please go on the website www.thepalmettopalace.com to read a little bit more about us. And remember, only together can we make a difference in the lives of families.